Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flight Podcast. My name is Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Andrew Thomas.
Shut up and sit down.
Week 3 is just about wrapped up, and shockingly, this was a much more entertaining week than last week.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew. I mean, there was a couple games in this week where it was definitely a bit of a shocker, which me and Andrew are going to be going into. But for this episode, we are going to be going over every game that has played so far this week and where we think each team may end up at the end of the season. So I'm going to let you start off, Andrew, with the Jaguars and Dolphins game, where we were both actually wrong with this because we thought that the Jaguars were going to win this. So what are your thoughts, Andrew?
Well, in our podcast that we film our podcast on Thursday and Sunday, and the Jaguars game was going on while we were doing our podcast. So the Dolphins were up by a good amount. I think it was 21-7, and I thought the Jaguars were going to come back. I thought Gardner Minshew would lead that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Ryan Fitzpatrick had a phenomenal game, and Gardner Minshew didn't throw for any touchdowns. James Robinson, your guy, you had him on your fantasy bench. I saw he dropped about 31 fantasy points.
Yep.
Yeah, and on fantasy, I don't know how many points I'm being about, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Don't need to rub it in, but yeah.
Yeah, I've secured the dub on fantasy.
Yep.
But Gardner Minshew, not a great game. He threw for 275 yards, which is pretty good. But Ryan Fitzpatrick was 18 for 20 completion, which is just ridiculous. The Dolphins had a great game.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else really to add on to that. I mean, the Dolphins just played a better ball game. I mean, this game really shows how the Jaguars really don't have enough. I mean, I know we were saying how, the Jaguars are really trying to push through and not try and tank this year. But for me, I think they should just start tanking. I think they do have good key components in Gardner Minshew and James Robinson, but they really don't have that great good wide receivers that can really help them. I mean, they got D.D. Westbrook, but he hasn't been really great this year. It's really just been James Robinson that has been getting them on the rushing and receiving end. So for me, I think the Jaguars should just tank. And the Dolphins, definitely not playoffs. I think they should just search out for their options, look for a good draft spot, because that's what's going to happen. They also don't have that good options for this year.
Yeah. What do you think the Dolphins' ceiling is? I think or the Dolphins and the Jaguars. I think we both have the same.
I think around the same. I mean, they're just like I said, they're going to get high draft picks. That's going to be about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Jaguars will be third in the AFC South, but I think the Dolphins will probably end up getting last. Well, you know what? Actually, it's kind of tough because the Jets also kind of suck.
I think they're both, I think, can get top 5 for the draft pick.
Yeah.
It just depends on where they end up. I think Jets and Giants will most likely take the 1 and 2. Unfortunately, me being a Giants fan, that definitely hurts me. But, I mean, realistically, yeah, they're probably going to end up at the 2 or 3. And I could see Jaguars and Dolphins ending up somewhere in there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to 49ers and Giants. So, no shockers, to be honest. I mean, I think that second half – I mean, I don't know if you watched that game, Andrew, but that second half was –
I did not watch the game.
It was tough to watch. That first half, the Giants had a fighting – I mean, if I want to say a fighting chance, I mean, their defense was looking not bad in the first half. They were getting some good stops. I mean, I know the 49ers – they really didn't have a lot of their players as Jimmy Garoppolo, George Kittle, Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, all of their top offensive guys were out. But, I mean, from what the Giants could do, they weren't looking too bad with their defense. But second half, they just completely collapsed.
They were terrible.
Yeah, they lost 36-9. And the big problem with Daniel Jones is it wasn't really him. It was that offensive line. He got sacked a lot, almost fumbled it a couple times. I mean, there was a lot of not great plays going on, and it wasn't good enough for the Giants today. So what are your thoughts, Andrew?
Well, if I'm being honest, I thought that Andrew Thomas had a phenomenal game. He's just the best. But yeah, there's no shockers. I honestly think that I was expecting the 49ers to win even with their injuries because the Giants do suck, as much as I hate to say it.
What are your ceiling for both of these teams?
Giants will do bad, but the 49ers have a playoff ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on their injuries, we'll see.
Yeah,
it's not looking.
It really depends because without Nick Bosa, and they're in a really tough. The NFC West is probably I think it's probably the best division in the NFL. Like they got the Seahawks, the Rams, and the 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, all of these teams in the NFC West, I can see all of them making the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
What I've been seeing, I mean, especially with that Rams game today when they almost won. I mean, that was a big comeback for them. Even though they lost, they still almost won that game. But all of these teams, I could see winning. So, yeah, I could see 49ers in playoffs.
Yeah, let's head on to the next game. Game number 3, Browns versus the football team. Again, not to be confused with your local football team.
Of course.
Dwayne Haskins, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I was totally expecting the Browns to win this, but and Baker Mayfield didn't even have a terrible game. Like, he didn't throw a lot. He didn't even throw an interception, which is good for him. Nick Chubb with a ridiculous game, though.
Yeah, I think this game was self-explanatory. I mean, it was known that what was going to happen. I mean, unfortunately, Chase Young had that injury. Hopefully he's okay because I really like watching Chase Young, as I think he had the potential to be definitely defensive rookie of the year, potentially rookie of the year. I mean, he was just amazing already. One of the leaders in sacks in the first 2 weeks. I mean, that's nuts as a rookie.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking good.
Really good. But I don't think either of these teams are going to make the playoffs. I don't think the Browns really have enough, mostly on their defense, and I don't think Baker Mayfield is really that good all around. He's only good on when he plays against bad teams, like the football team.
Yeah.
So, and the Redskins all around, besides their defensive line I think has gone better, but besides that, all around, they just need to work on everything. So what are your thoughts for their ceiling?
Ceiling, no playoffs for both of them. They're bad.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Bengals and Eagles, which first tie of the year. And surprisingly, Andrew had the Bengals to win and I had Eagles.
Yeah.
As they tied in overtime, that 23 points, which was a big shocker. I mean, Joe Burrow had a great game, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon was all right this game. Tyler Boyd was great. He got 125 yards, which is wow. Carson Wentz, though, I don't know what's going on with him. I think it could be the offensive line injuries. I hope that's why.
Yeah.
But he's just not been doing well.
Yeah. A hot take for me, Eagles are definitely going to do worse than they did last year.
Oh, 100%. I think right now Cowboys are making the playoffs and not Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, again, neither of these teams I don't think will make the playoffs. But I think the Eagles, the only reason they're not going to make it is because of injuries.
Yeah, the Eagles, even so, injuries was their problem last year, which is not good for them.
Yeah, I mean, they always struggle with injuries, whether it's Carson Wentz, anybody on their offensive line, Miles Sanders a couple games, Zach Ertz, Deshaun Jackson, a lot of players. So it's really not great for them. All right, let's move on.
Right.
Patriots and Raiders. What were your thoughts on that game?
I actually forgot who I was predicting to win. I think I said Patriots.
Yes, we both said Patriots.
Yeah, but Derek Carr had a good game. Josh Jacobs also had a good game. Cam Newton was okay, but Sony Michel, I haven't really heard of this guy. 117 yards on 10 carries.
Yeah,
and average 13. Like
he's one of those guys where he just has a breakout just randomly.
Yeah,
he's always there. He's always in the shadow, but he just always has that breakout game. But I mean, this was it. I think overall, great win for the Patriots. Derek Carr even though he did well watching the game, he was having some trouble. I'm not gonna lie, throughout a lot of the game. And the one thing that I was not happy about was Darren Waller. because I had him on my fantasy team, and Mans just did not do well. Derek
Yeah.
Carr did not pass it to him.
Yeah.
So I think Patriots are a secured playoff team. Raiders, I think they have playoff potential.
Playoff potential, yeah. I think the Patriots will probably end up getting the wild card for the NFC.
Most likely. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Bears, Falcons. I don't know what is going on with Mitchell Trubisky. He just keeps doing this. How?
I didn't watch the game. I don't even know what happened to him.
I
But I mean, I did see he like. But what happened with Mitch Trubisky?
He just
picked.
comes back.
Yep.
They had 20 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, come on. That's nuts.
Yeah.
It was mostly Nick Foles, really, but I
Yeah,
mean,
and Allen freaking Robinson. I'm so happy I put him in at my flex position.
Yeah. I mean,
30 points.
Yeah. I mean, once I think it was the Bears mostly making the good decision of putting in Nick Foles and realizing also Mitchell Trubisky is just a bit inconsistent. I mean, I still think he has potential to be a good quarterback. He just has to progress a bit more.
Yeah, I love Nick Foles. Love him. He was so good.
Yep, he was great. With the Falcons, I really think the Falcons had playoff potential. I'm not really certain anymore after the first 3 games and being 0-3. I don't think it's anybody on the team because I think Matt Ryan has been doing well. Todd Gurley's been doing well. They have great wide receivers with Calvin Ridley, Julio, and Russell Gage, which is one of the best wide receiver corps in the league. Their defense is not bad.
Yep.
They have a decent defense. I really think it's the coaching.
Yeah, but once again, the Falcons blew another lead. I was looking on fantasy. They were up by 16 points.
Yep.
16.
Nuts.
Sad.
Let's go on to the next game.
Yep.
Bills,
Rams. Bills Rams. Such a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good game. Josh Allen again with an MVP possible season. I don't think he'll get MVP, but it's definitely a type season like for him. This game was just great. I saw the highlights. It was just great. Like that's all I really got to say. It was ridiculously good.
Yeah, but I have to give the Rams props though for almost coming back and winning the game because they had a phenomenal second half. They had almost 30 points in that second half.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, it wasn't good enough, obviously, because Josh Allen just went off with 311 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he's nuts.
Yeah, he was really good.
Over 300 yards in every single game so far this season.
He's like you also have him on your fantasy bench, dropping 30 every night. So good.
Unfortunately, because I thought Dak was going to do better.
Yeah,
but
I don't think that Josh Allen did that much better than Dak though.
No, but I'm gonna look into trading Dak Prescott most likely because Josh Allen has just been lighting up.
Yeah,
to do so, but
so
I mean,
good.
Ceiling wise, Rams definitely have playoff potential. I'm not certain on them making it. Bills, Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I'm saying that the Bills are definitely a guaranteed playoff spot.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that conference championship is probably not Super Bowl contention. Yes, their ceiling. I think that they'll probably get to the conference championship.
I think they have a chance, but the problem is that I think it's going to be harder for the Bills to make it because they have 2 of the best teams in the league with the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. But I could see it because Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, they have just been that 1-2 punch. They have been great all season so far and continue to be great so far. All right, let's move on to the Steelers and Texans. What were your thoughts on that game, Andrew?
My thoughts, I was surprised that it was within 7. I thought the Steelers were going to win, and they did win. And I had James Conner on my bench. I was scared because I put Allen Robinson in for him, and Allen Robinson had 12 points, James Conner 25. Yep. And then Allen Robinson just had that 37-yard touchdown, got him up to 26, and I was like, thank goodness. But the Steelers game, I didn't watch it, but it was an all right game.
Yeah,
I picked the Steelers, and I was pretty confident that they would win this.
yeah. I mean, it was Steelers' game. Yeah, I mean, the second half was really just the Steelers. The Texans, they just went quiet most of the time. I mean, it really shows. I mean, it's Deshaun Watson. He had a good game. 2 touchdowns, 264 yards, a good completion percentage. It's just their defense. I mean, it's not great. I mean, I know it's J.J. Watt, but
Yeah,
he's getting older.
yeah, yeah.
He's
He's definitely
resting
getting old.
a lot. He's not playing that defensive player of the year type of player anymore. And the Steelers are just playing better overall. Ben Roethlisberger is coming back off that injury. James Conner as well. Juju is starting to get great. Eric Ebron, James Washington, all these guys, and their defense with T.J. Watt and Devin Bush. I mean, I think like overall, I knew the Steelers were going to win. They're a better overall team. I think for me, Steelers definitely have a chance at making playoffs. I could I think they're going to make the playoffs. Texans I don't think will make playoffs. What are your thoughts?
I completely agree with you. Steelers will make the playoffs. Texans won't. I agree.
Yeah, Texans just one of the dumbest trades I've ever seen in my life.
For
But
DeAndre Hopkins, yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know. I still question why that trade was ever made.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He was your best player.
Yeah,
It made no sense.
yeah. Let's head on to the next game. Titans Vikings, 1 point difference.
Close. It was close.
Yes, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, the battle of the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
They were both ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
120 yards, 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry. 180 yards for Dalvin Cook, 1 touchdown. He was so good. But I got to address the fact that Kirk Cousins also threw two interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, he did finally get some touchdowns this game. He had 3 touchdowns, which is definitely a big help for the Vikings after having none in the
Yeah.
last week, which is just surprising. I mean, he's going into week 3, he was one of the worst quarterbacks, and
Yeah,
now
he was bad.
yeah. I mean, they definitely got better. I knew that the Titans were going to win because they have more. I think Ryan Tannehill wasn't really able to connect on a lot of the plays that was able to get him touchdowns, but it was really Derrick Henry that helped them get it. Without Derrick Henry, they probably would not have won.
Yep. And let me just address the fact that Justin Jefferson was so ridiculous. 7 receptions, 175 receiving yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
He's been one of the best rookies. One of the best rookie games so far. He's not
ridiculous.
Nuts.
All right. Let's move on to the ceilings for them. What do you think about for them?
Titans, I think they will make playoffs. Vikings, I mean, I don't really think they'll make playoffs. I don't think they'll have enough. I mean, it's mostly Kirk Cousins. It's really just Kirk Cousins, and also they lost out with now Stephon Diggs being out. I mean, Kirk Cousins just hasn't really been able to connect really with. I mean, Adam Thielen, they were able to connect on week 1. Obviously, he was doing great, but week 2 and week 3, it was just not as much. I mean, Adam Thielen did have a touchdown, but I mean, 29 yards, just 3 receptions. It wasn't great.
Yeah,
so, overall, playoff potential for Vikings, but doubtful on that. What are your
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you completely. Titans will definitely be good in the playoffs. Vikings, potential.
All right, Panthers and Chargers. One of probably the biggest upset of today so far. I mean, I did not expect them to win that game. I thought Chargers were going to have a great ride just winning that game. But I guess we were wrong. I mean, we didn't see all those touchdowns this time with Justin Herbert. It was just that 1 touchdown, but I got to give him 330 yards was great. It was just not enough towards the end. It was the first half was really the Panthers. They were able to secure a big lead, and Chargers are trying to come back, but then they couldn't. So, what were your thoughts?
I was shocked that they won without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I was shocked. It's really hard to see that the Chargers lost, but they did. And Keenan Allen and Aaron Eckler, or Austin Eckler, they both had great games. 13 receptions, 11 receptions, high yardage. And just Justin Herbert, yeah, he threw for a lot of yards. Looking at that box score, you would have thought that the Chargers probably won the game, but no, it was the Panthers. And Teddy Bridgewater did pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this game was mostly Joey Sly, the kicker for the Panthers. I mean, he got 5 field goals, made every single one. He really, I mean, the good thing was that Teddy Bridgewater was, even though he wasn't able to get as many touchdowns, he did get a touchdown, which was good, but he was able to get it really far for Joey Sly to hit those field goals, which was crucial for them winning.
Yeah.
So what do you think their ceilings are for this season?
Panthers, probably no playoffs. Chargers, probably no playoffs as well. I don't think they're good enough to get the wild card, and I don't think they're good enough to be better than the Raiders this season.
I don't know. Well, Panthers, I agree with you. I don't think they'll make playoffs, but I could see Chargers making it. I think they have potential because they have the team. I mean, Justin Herbert, I know he's just been starting out. We don't really know how he's going to play the rest of the season, but they have great running backs with Austin Eckler and Josh Kelly. They got the great receivers with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry with their tight end. They have a good defense. Joey Bosa, Chris Harris, all around. They're a great all-around team. They just can't finish in the end.
Yeah.
We saw that last year with Phillip Rivers, and we're seeing it again this year. And I think the main reason is, I mean, we'll see how Justin Herbert can play. I think that's the main reason why they weren't able to get this, but we'll see how they finish out. All right.
Yes.
Colts, Jets. What are your thoughts? I'm going to let you start this one out.
Sam Darnold, 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. Disappointment. All I got to say about the Jets, I have nothing to say for them. They don't even deserve a review. The Colts, good game.
Yeah.
They dropped 36. It was really good. Got to give it to them.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing much to say. All I'm going to say is I was not disappointed because I expected the Jets to do this bad, and they will probably do this bad the rest of the season. Honestly, I would be surprised if they got 2 wins or even 1.
Yep. If you're in New Jersey, New York, just become a Giants fan. Just do it. You know you want to do it.
Even though Saquon Barkley is injured, at least we can name a receiver on that team. I mean, I can't name a receiver on the Jets right now. No.
What are you talking about? They got Chris Hogan.
Oh yeah, Chris Hogan. That's right. Forgot about Chris Hogan.
I don't even know that dude.
Yeah, but good game by the Colts. I mean, Colts I think have potential. But again, not counting on it because of Phillip Rivers, and he's never able to finish out in games. But I mean, I know you know what I'm gonna say about Jets.
Yep. Worst top 3 pick, top 2 pick maybe.
First pick, just first pick.
All right. Yeah, and Colts I also think potential wild card, but unlikely.
Yep. All right, Seahawks, Cowboys.
I watched this game. I watched it. This game was so entertaining. I stood up. I'm always in my bed watching the game. I wasn't. I was up. Dak Prescott almost got 60 passes. Russell Wilson.
Beast.
I have to say this right now. He is my pick for MVP. Like, I thought he was going to have a great season. I didn't think it would be MVP. But looking at this right now, he might be the MVP. He's been absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. 315 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
And that's back-to-back 5 touchdown games.
Yeah.
Back-to-back.
think about this stat. In the first 3 games, he has the most touchdowns ever. He has 14 touchdowns in 3 games. How does he do it?
It's
How does he do it?
ridiculous.
He is
Ridiculous.
nuts. DK Metcalf, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Beast. Tyler Lockett, unbelievable game. 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was there with Russell Wilson the whole game.
Yes.
Whole
Yeah.
game.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Everybody on that team, great win. Cowboys, we got to give them some credit, though. They did do well. Dak did have 3 touchdowns, almost 500 yards that game. That is really impressive.
Yeah.
But
Dak's been doing pretty good this season, and I think he slides into the top 10 for me.
Oh, yeah, finally for you.
Yeah,
You start to see it. I mean, my top 10 has definitely changed so far this season.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of players I would not add in there. But, I mean, for me, Seahawks, I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
I think the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl, too. I think Russell Wilson, he has that experience. Mm-hmm. He's a great player. I still think he's better than Lamar Jackson as basically a team leader and all that stuff. But, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to come down probably between Seahawks and Packers, but I think Seahawks are going to win it. And Cowboys, definite making the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we'll see where they end up. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, but I still think they are a great team all around.
Yep.
All right.
Let's move on to the next game.
Yep.
Lions and Cardinals. I thought the Cardinals would win this game, but 3 interceptions by Kyler Murray did it.
Yeah, it was really Kyler Murray. I mean, he did have that 2 touchdowns, but really overall, it was really just him. I mean, he the 3 interceptions, it really was not great. But he's been like that for a lot. Even though he's been doing great with the touchdowns and the yardage and doing well with DeAndre Hopkins, he has been having a lot of interceptions, which hasn't been good. So for me, Cardinals, I think have playoff potential. Lions are going to be one of the worst probably. Probably will get a good pick in the draft. I don't think top 5 though, but a good pick.
Yep, I think Adrian Peterson, MVP season soon. Yeah, I agree with you though. Lions no playoffs, Cardinals possible playoffs, but probably no playoffs.
Yeah.
The NFC East or the NFC West. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Just too hard.
All right, let's go through these. Buccaneers and Broncos. This wasn't really a surprising game. I mean,
not at all.
A much better team. Tom Brady showing out again, almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Great all-around win for the Bucs. Broncos, on the other hand, not that great. What are your predictions for their ceilings?
Buccaneers, possible wild card, possible division winning. It depends on how the Saints do. Depends on when Michael Thomas comes back. And for the Broncos, no playoffs for me.
Yep.
I don't think they'll do it.
I agree with you on both of those. All right. Now we're going to get into the final 2 games, both of which for us right now, one of them is still in play, the Packers and Saints, as they are almost at halftime, 13-10, which I still got Packers winning this one, even without.
I also have Packers.
Yep. I mean, even though the Saints are playing much better, Drew Brees has not been throwing, really. It's just been Alvin Kamara. He's been taking it up again. But ceilings, Packers, definite Super Bowl contenders. Saints, I think they'll, depending on when Michael Thomas comes back, they'll most likely make the playoffs, just depending on which round.
Agreed. And I'm looking at a report Michael Thomas is eyeing a week 4 return, so he might be back next week.
Hopefully, that's good. All right. And the last 2 teams, the Chiefs and the Ravens. Potentially, I could see either of these winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Both of which are Super Bowl contenders. No changing about that. I still think Ravens are better. I still think they'll win this game. And this could potentially be the AFC Championship.
Could be.
This could be.
Yep. Yeah, I also agree. Super Bowl champs could be on these 2 teams.
Yep. All right, that's all for today, everyone.
Comment down below what your thoughts were on week 3 and if your favorite team won this week.
See you guys next time.